Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'll call to order the Town of Mount Desert Planning Board meeting for February 22nd, 2023. Welcome aboard. All right, let's first do a roll call here of the planning board members we have attending tonight. I've got myself, William Hanley, chair here in the meeting room. Along with me is Tracy Loftus-Keller. Online, we've got Meredith. Hello, Meredith. We've got Dave Ashmore as well. Hello, Dave. And we've got our recording secretary online, Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
And let's see, I really don't think we need to give the Zoom speech anymore, but if you are online, please sign in on chat, just so we have a record of who's online with us. And let's get going. All right, so first item on the agenda tonight, we have approval of minutes from the 8th. Yep.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes of January 8th. What was it? What did you say?
February.
February. I was like, that's too long ago. Right.
Right.
Tracy Keller, I'll second the motion to approve the minutes.
All right, all those in favor, Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
myself, William Hanley, aye. All right, is it 6:05?
Not yet.
Okay, we got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
What's the latest snow report?
Haven't heard yet, Bill. When is
Heard
it
it.
supposed to start, more importantly?
Tomorrow through Friday.
In the morning or afternoon?
I think in the morning, Noel.
Okay, got one of my teens driving from Bangor to home in the morning, so
Fun. Yeah, I've heard 8 to 12, 5 to 7,
awesome.
12 to 16.
It is what it is.
It is the way life should be.
Yeah, good stuff. Just when we start to get ready for spring.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at it right now, and it's gonna start at midnight.
Midnight?
Yeah.
Even that.
Awesome. Awesome.
What are we supposed to get, Dave?
Yeah, they're
Anyway.
saying 6 inches between, it's supposed to snow until sometime on Friday morning. So 6 inches over that period of time, but I get a feeling it's gonna be more.
Mhm.
Stretching out my back.
Mhm. Okay. One more minute of chippy chatting.
Yep.
Updated,
Yeah.
The one that we got from FEMA,
Yes.
DP, and then, yeah, and
Yeah.
then this one you guys might recall, we'll talk about it in a second,
Yeah.
but.
I get
this
one. I got all of them.
Did you get this? Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
the language wasn't accurate when it was presented. Back on the 8th, and you
Yeah.
guys voted actually on this, but I'd like for you to redo it
Got
with
it.
the corrected language.
Yes, ma'am. Almost.
You guys need to spend more time reviewing minutes before public hearings.
We need to have a
Stack them up.
deep discussion.
Like if I can't, go ahead.
All right. All right, it's 6:05. We can keep rolling and because of that, item 3 on the agenda tonight, we have a public hearing. And tonight we have the land use zoning ordinance and land use map amendments for the 2023 annual town meeting on May 2nd. And that is why we have Noel with us tonight. And why don't I turn it over to you, Noel?
Thank you, Bill. So everybody voted on all but one of the amendments that were being proposed for Luso changes at the last public hearing that we had 2 weeks ago. However, one of the changes that we proposed, the language of the ordinance hasn't changed. It was the wording in the warrant article just hadn't gotten updated. And that was the one related to amendments to the land use zoning ordinance to add the residential storage building / shed as a permitted use. It still had some of the old language in the warrant article. Not really sure you need to revote on it, but I think just to cover, to cross Ts and dot Is, it probably would be worthwhile to recognize that the language of the warrant article changed and then maybe revote just to confirm that you're still okay with it. Do you want me to pull it up on the screen so you can see it?
Yes, yes, please.
Did everybody see that?
Yep.
So it's this language right here. Changed. Is that highlighted? Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes, it's gray, but it's highlighted.
Yeah, before you might recall, it said garage / stable, barn, stable. And so we had a discussion with the town attorney. And we came up with just a storage building / shed.
Residential storage building.
Yep. So last time I'm just scroll down, like this hasn't changed since this is exactly the same thing that you voted on. The stuff that's in yellow. It's only the wording in the warrant article question. It had the same language as what was the previous draft before we met with the town attorney. So that's it. So I think our recommendation is that you vote on it again, just to accept it one more time with the amended language in the warrant article.
I make a motion to recommend this warrant article change to the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
The warrant committee, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
The warrant committee.
Whoever.
Tracy Keller, I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor, Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
and myself, William Hanley, aye.
Okay, one thing, we probably can't have a actual vote on this one tonight because I just got language from the state and then finished the actual language Monday or something like that. So it's just recently been posted. So I think we could be back March 8th for another formal, the final vote on this one. But I'm going to share this to give everybody a heads up. I talked about this at one of the last meetings that we had. And it's the provision from shoreland zoning. It's in new law within shoreland zoning standards that modifies the way that you're able to measure height for structures that are in a special flood hazard area. So this change would basically, I'll just scroll out so we can see it a little bit more. Under the non-conforming structure section, it just adds a provision that allows one to measure height differently than you normally would if you're not in a special flood hazard area. To that, and the benefit is that it helps when you're dealing with structures in a flood zone. You know, the base flood elevation and the shoreland zoning standards oftentimes are in conflict with one another. So this helps alleviate some of those conflicts. And we are adding a definition for special flood hazard area and also more detail under the definition of height to help clarify that. Any questions on this?
So the floodplain elevation trumps the
Yes.
non-conforming height restriction.
Yeah, we dealt with this. If I didn't bring it up last time, the town of Mount Desert had a building, or has, I should say, a building on Dodge Point Road, which is the Seal Harbor bait/boat structure.
Right,
And they were replacing the foundation under it. And in order to do that, we had to bring the base flood, the floor of that above the pilings, above the base flood elevation, but in that respect, the building was already at its max or allowable. It may have exceeded, if I recall, height, because it was within 0 to 25 feet, excuse me, from the highest annual tide. But because we had to raise the building, the floor area, we had to flatten the roof more. So it ideally went from almost
just-
a pitch to a flat. Yeah, it's almost flat right now
yeah,
because of that, because this wasn't in state law, and FEMA was adamant that we had to, because if we didn't elevate it, we would lose the insurance on the building, the town would.
no, this comes from the state.
It's FEMA and DEP.
This is not, yeah, I mean, all I did was I took the language that's right under the new shoreline zoning standards and plugged it into the ordinance where, in the Mount Desert ordinance where it belongs. So if you went to, if you just went to the shoreline zoning rules, Bill, it's like I can't remember what section it is, but it's an all new law. It would apply anyway, I think, but we want to put it in the ordinance because it's in
Is
the,
there any required flattening of the roof like in that case, or can you just pick
I
the
think-
thing up to meet the floodplain?
yeah, it says, so I think the difference is it just changes where you measure height. So it doesn't change the height. So the height
Mhm.
limits are the same, but it just changes on where you can measure height from. So it's not the downhill, the mean original grade on the downhill side, it's the vertical distance between the bottom of the sill of the structure to the highest point of the structure. So if you're in like a VE 11 and you have to bump it up to get to that point, the sill would be where you start to measure from. I believe that's how it is going to work.
Got it.
Yeah. So like how it works. Sometimes you're not with the mean original grade, you can't even
It doesn't.
you can't bring fill in to get it up in a lot of areas either. And
Not
so
with
it
these.
messes things up. But
No,
yeah, and it's only under the nonconformity section too. It's not obviously it wouldn't be a rebuild. I mean, a new structure,
right.
unless it's outside the setback.
Yeah, I think of all those functionally marine dependent structures around here that have been snagged by that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think of a couple of places that it's been kind of a bear.
No, that's,
And I'm not exactly sure, again, I didn't create the language here, so I think there's gonna be like a little bit of application that needs to it needs to be applied to figure out if we need to tweak anything. But generally speaking, I would say the principle is you measure from a different point to get your height, but the height limit is still the same.
yeah,
And you have to be, in order for this to apply, you have to be in an area of special flood hazard, which is what's defined. And it was not a defined term in the ordinance, so I just added it.
got it.
Anyway, I think this one you can't vote on tonight. If you have any questions about it, now would be the time so we can make any changes, but this is pretty much state verbatim.
Special flood hazard is the VE zone.
Yeah, the velocity zones.
Yeah,
Yep. I think that those are the areas that you can't bring fill in to do anything either.
That's correct.
yeah,
So I'd say it's a little more flexible, but still there's, obviously still some constraints in in the shoreline zone.
Got it.
I think it's, I mean, depending on what your point of view is, I guess, but it does provide some flexibility.
This is already like adopted through the DEP.
Yep.
Have been signed off. But, and it's really like, it's a law, if you will, but we want to put it in the ordinance because it really gives us the backbone to enforce it if it's in our ordinance.
Mhm.
I think technically we could be more strict, which that would, currently we are. But it's good, this is the change. Anyway, I think we're in, I mean, I think I mentioned to you guys, I was gonna try to pull it together and here it is, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
So we'll
Great.
vote on that, you guys will vote on this on March 8th, because it hasn't been published fully yet for
March
the
8th.
timeframe.
Yep.
Okay, that needs to be, that's why we're just bringing it up, just to give you a heads up. So you're like, geez, again, a land use, public hearing again?
But that'll be the last one because
Yes.
the warrant committee meets next week and then I believe the select board actually is approving the warrant like before the final vote, and then it doesn't get published until after that. So we could, if you guys decide you don't like it, we could pull it off, but pull it out of the warrant still, but everything will be kind of lined up for the 8th. Just in case you're wondering about timing.
I guess
I'm sorry, I couldn't get it done sooner. I just didn't have the wording. So,
Pretty important wording.
yeah, yep. I think we knew they were doing it. I just didn't want to make it up. So it's kind of good that we have this.
Yeah, thanks again.
Okey doke.
Where this is a public hearing, I probably should be asking for any public comment. Any public comment? Okay, none heard.
Okay.
All righty.
Onward and upward.
Thank you.
Thanks, Noel.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Noel.
See ya.
You too. See ya.
All right. Let's keep rolling along here.
Let's.
Great. Item 4 on the agenda tonight, we have a conditional use approval application. It's conditional use approval application 002-2023. Owner name is Maria E. Poundgarten, John Parker, and Harold Parker. Agent is Andrew McCullough. Location is 560 Sergeant Point Road, Mount Desert. Tax map 8, lot 10-005. The zone is Shoreland Residential 3. And the purpose is section 3.4, piers, docks, wharves, bridges, and other structures and uses extending over or below the normal high water line or within a wetland in section 6C.7, marine and freshwater structure performance standards, concrete abutment, aluminum ramp, and float. We had a site inspection at 4 o'clock. And was this one advertised and abutters notified?
Yes, this was advertised in the February 9th edition of the Islander, and a butters notices went out February 7th.
Right. I guess I'll first ask if there's any conflict of interest on the board with this one. None heard. And let's see, I guess I'll report on the site visit as Andrew and I were the only ones there this afternoon, and other than my golden retrievers, which got to jump out of the car. And it was a beautiful afternoon, beautiful west facing shorefront property at 560 Sergeant Point Road. Andrew and I walked down to the shorefront. The shore is, I guess, the old quarry landing down there. So the shoreline is lined with what looked like great granite and veneer stone, rubble all through there. And we walked down to the point and location of the concrete abutment. And Andrew explained how the abutment is really just a big concrete block set into the shoreline. And that's the only permanent or fixed feature of the marine structure. There's going to be and then a ramp going down and a float out in the water, and the ramp and float are seasonal. they come out and it was a very minimal footprint dimensionally on the shore. And there were, I think, 3 moorings out in front of there. And it was, a tidal area. It was, you could see it was out a bit from the shore. It was sandy. And that was it. And Andrew, I'll let you take it from there.
Currently, the owners have to traverse the steep slope that the granite makes down to the water when it's not high water. And it's slippery, it's not safe, and it's very irregular, so there's a good chance of falling, etc. So the goal is to have a structure, but as minimal of a structure as possible, so that they can walk out to or down across the aluminum gangway to a float. The float will be just beyond essentially knee-low water. And so that then they can get into their dory and access their boats out on their moorings. At high water, they could bring their power boat in or their sailboat in and then be able to get in from the float. But at least this gives them a safe access to the water, whether it's for swimming or whether it's to access their boats. So the goal was to minimize the impact. The owners did not want to have a large structure. And so we designed something that is, for the most part, seasonal, except for this concrete abutment. And so this way, they have access during the season, and then it can be taken away for the winter.
Can we just clarify where this is? Because I keep on seeing Southwest Harbor written all over. What is this? Is this on the opposite? Is this on the other side of the peninsula from the last peer review that we?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the thing that keeps on saying that it's Southwest Harbor is just what's throwing me.
That's just showing you that it's that way.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's just,
that's
okay,
the topo map.
that's just the topo map, yeah, that's automatically created, it's part of the quad, it's just a quad name, it's not. It's not the
not in
name,
Southwest.
it's not reflecting that it's in the town of Southwest.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I kept on trying to think where does the town connect with Southwest Harbor on the shore? Got it.
Any questions from the public for the applicant? From the public or the applicant? If none heard, I'll close public comment. Any thoughts from the board about maybe finding the application complete first?
Tracy Keller, I'll make a motion to find the application complete.
Meredith Randolph, will second that.
All right, all those in favor, Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Meredith,
Randolph, aye.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
Myself, William Hanley, aye.
Have we gone through the whole, did all the abutters get notified and
Yeah,
Yes.
we didn't get any turned envelopes or anything?
No,
no.
no emails, no one showed
No
up,
contact.
no one showed up at the site meeting. Any thoughts about maybe using the short form checklist?
Meredith Randolph, I propose we use the short form.
Dave Ashmore, second.
All right, all those in favor, Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
myself, William Hanley, aye. Short form it is. And then I guess we gotta do our thing where anybody like to make a motion about approving the application.
Tracy Keller, I'll make that motion to approve the application.
Meredith Randolph, I second that.
Then we press the pause button. And we go through our review of the application. All right, so I've got the applicant's application in front of me. I got the short form checklist.
Memo.
And let's do it. All right, so section 6A, general performance standards, compatibility. Applicant talks about the concrete abutment and the 3x50 aluminum ramp and 16x20 float are the three components of it. And the depth of the float at mean low water is 3 feet. Visual impact is limited. Proximity to the other structure, the closest dock is 1,000 feet south of it. And density of development, it's a single family residence on a 3.5 acre site. So see application. Erosion and sedimentation control, they've got a plan for that. So see application. 6A3 highway safety, NA, impact on town services, NA. Land suitability, it's applicant says then the dock abutment is sited on tailings from quarry operations. See application. 6A6 lighting outdoor, NA, there is none. 6A7 stormwater. There's no stormwater measures required or proposed, so they say NA. 6A8 vegetation. NA, I assume, Andrew, there's no vegetation being removed.
No.
6A9 dust fumes, vapors, odors, and gases. NA. And the findings of fact are as presented by the applicant and attached application. The conclusion was that the proposed use is in compliance with all standards of section 6A for which the standard has been met.
Tracy Keller, so moved.
Meredith Randolph, second.
All those in favor, Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
myself, William Hanley, aye. So moving on, section 6B. Specific performance standards for activities and land uses. 6B1, agriculture, NA. 6B2, air landing site, NA. 6B7, excavation other than filling. Applicant says that the soil will not be excavated for abutment construction. 5 cubic yards of rock tailings will be excavated. See application. 6B8, fences and walls, NA. 6B16, sign regulations, NA. 6B18, wireless communication facility. Not putting a cell tower out there, are you, Andrew?
Not my.
No, so NA. and 6B 19 animal husbandry 2, NA 6B 20, there's no food trucks either. 6B 21, rooming house, NA, 6B 22, hotels and motels, NA. So the findings of fact are that the proposed use include none of the specific activities or land uses described in section 6B except for 6B7, and that the conclusion was that section 6B is not applicable except for section 6B7, for which the standard has been met.
Tracy Keller, so moved.
Meredith Randolph, second.
All right, all those in favor, Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
myself, William Hanley, aye. All right, section 6C. You are in the shoreline zone. So shoreline zoning standards for review by the planning board. Get over to that and the application. (6C1) agriculture. NA. 62 archaeological sites.
Exhibit 13 letter in
There
the
you,
packet.
there you go. See application. 65 essential services, NA. 66 parking areas, NA. 6C7, why we are here tonight, marine and freshwater structure standards. So just kind of running down through that, the standards for marine structures, the maximum length of an entire marine structure is 225 feet and the proposed dimensions are 70 feet. Maximum length of all permanent structures is 150 feet. Applicant says essentially NA, as there is no permanent structure. Then maximum length of all non-permanent structures is 75 feet. And the proposed dimensions, again, is 70 feet. The maximum width of the pier walkway is 6 feet. Maximum width of the ramp is 6 feet. And we only have a ramp. We don't have a pier walkway, and the ramp width is 3 feet. Maximum square footage of all floats is 400 square feet. The proposed square footage is 320.
Also, he provides a letter from the harbor master about the fact that the proposal is not going to interfere with any mooring areas.
Mhm. So marine and freshwater structures standards, C application. 6C9 roads and driveways, NA. 6C11 water quality.
Standard.
Yeah, I'll say C application as the applicant denotes that the standard has been met.
Mhm.
So the findings of fact are that the proposed use will include none of the specific activities or land uses described in section 6C except for 6C2, 6C7, and 6C11. And the conclusion was that section 6C is not applicable except for 6C2, 6C7, and 6C11, for which the standard has been met.
Tracy Keller, so moved.
Dave Ashmore, second.
All right, all those in favor, Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
Meredith,
Randolph, I.
myself, William Hanley, aye. All right, well, since we are in the shoreline zone, we get to do section 5.9 as well. And bear with me. So 5.9.1 will maintain safe and healthful conditions. See application. 592 will not result in water pollution, erosion, or sedimentation to surface waters. See application. 593 will adequately provide for the disposal of all wastewater. Applicant says NA. 594 will not have an adverse impact on spawning grounds, fish, aquatic life, bird, or other wildlife habitat.
There's a map in the back of the packet,
And
shows it's outside of it, the location.
Great, and the applicant says see application. 595 will conserve shore cover and visual as well as actual points of access to inland and coastal waters. And says see application. 596 will protect archaeological and historic resources as designated in the comp plan. Got a map for that
But he's got a letter in there.
letter.
Yep.
See application. 597 will not adversely affect existing commercial fishing or maritime activities in the shoreline commercial district.
And
Yeah, they say see application, but
Andrew, I'm gonna have you come up, just initial this, because you're not in the shoreline commercial
Yeah.
district.
Yes. we're not.
Yeah, if you could just initial right there for me.
so they're saying,
Dry as bone.
Thank you.
seeing NA, and Andrew modified his original application. 598 will avoid problems associated with floodplain development and use.
The application,
The application. And 599 is in conformance with the provisions of section 6A, B, and C, for which the standard has been met. So the findings of fact for section 5.9 are see above. In that the conclusion of law is that all requirements of section 5.9 have been met.
I so move.
Tracy Keller, second.
Fantastic. Right. All those in favor, Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
myself, and Hanley, aye.
and when it's trilogies are the FEMA map in there,
Yep,
that you kind of heard your favorite, so.
thank you.
Okay.
Kim just pointed out the FEMA map included in the application, and I will commend the applicant. It was a pretty thorough, well-bound application. Thank you. And are there any permit conditions on this one? No.
We've gone to the state agencies that he's needed to that are applicable, so.
All right, so no permit conditions. So we'll circle back to the approval vote. We'll press play. And all those in favor of approving the application. Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
myself, William Hanley, aye. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Andrew, now you just need to apply for a building permit and a FEMA permit,
Okay,
floodplain for that.
yeah,
And that's it.
very good. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, item 5, other. We don't have anything identified under
Nope.
other.
No, you just, meeting coming out? Oh, that, no.
March 8th, right?
No, yeah, again, you got, couple applications coming before you. You've got 2 sketch plans. One of them is, MD 365 on Manchester Road. Again, the one you might recall that came to you back in May of 2021. And then, another sketch plan, which is Jeff Tunison from Haley Ward, doing a revision to a previously approved subdivision on Quarry's Edge Road in Whole Quarry. And then the one article item that needs to be voted on, the FEMA DEP height. But that's all that's on the agenda.
Got it. Well, on to item 6.
I make a
Any-
motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Tracy Keller, second.
Any further discussion? None heard. All those in favor? Meredith,
Randolph, I.
Tracy,
Tracy Keller, I.
Dave,
Dave Ashmore, aye.
myself, William Hanley, aye. All right, 40 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.